What's going on, beautiful people? We're getting ready for another Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays because it's the middle of the week. It seems like a good time to do this show, and you know what? We might as well. We're all here anyway. How's everybody doing? Yeah.
Doing good.
There we go.
So
It's gotten a
Pedro's
bit
looking
chilly
into
here.
getting a new desk.
Pedro, do you really need
Not
a
to-
new desk? You need to get closer to Gaia. You need to get on the floor, man.
Yeah, he wants to redo his setup.
I want a setup that takes up less space and gives me the same amount of room to work.
Room.
I want to see floor cheeseburgers.
You know what
that's
is a
easy
good
enough to do. I don't need a new desk
You know
for
what's a
that.
good you know what's a good idea is one of those tall bread racks. You can use those as desk. I'm using one as a desk in the hallway because you can have storage up above, which is really nice, and below. So I have
Yeah, the below the desk is a problem because this desk has this metal cross beam right there, and I'm constantly banging my knees on the thing.
Oh,
so
yeah, you got
that's
one
part
leg,
of the
so
reason why
that's an
this needs to go.
Okay, I understand. Because I have short
So,
legs,
yeah,
so
no.
it doesn't.
I need clear, like bottom of the desk, clear, nothing.
Nothing there. Okay.
Yeah.
Like my desk right now, I have we built a little shelf underneath, so I have some of my vintage computers down there. But I have short legs, so it doesn't even they don't even reach it. But this desk is really wide too. That's another thing I like about it.
Right.
So my new desk is real wide too. I made sure to get a real wide and real long desk.
I figure since I already have one of those Alex sets of drawers that everyone has from IKEA,
Yeah, they use the other gaming
probably get
setups.
another one and just get like a 6-foot long tabletop and put it on the two with
Yeah.
one of the spindly IKEA
It
legs in
works.
the middle.
Yeah,
to
it works and it
bear
looks
the
nice
weight.
too. Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Bless you, Ben. And then you have storage space with your drawers too, which is nice.
Yes.
Previously
No,
on
that- I can
Linux
see that with-
Deskcast.
Yeah, Deskcast. I
Not
can
to
see that's a
interrupt.
good option for you, Pedro.
Now, desk is an important thing. It should be
I said
horribly,
that all the time.
horribly, just bad. It should make you never want to sit at it, so you get up more.
Yeah.
And here I was thinking the exact opposite.
Of course,
Make
but-
it even better so I like sitting at it more.
Listen, you're going to sit in front of it no matter what.
Yes.
Yes.
So I want comfy and
No.
spacious.
We need to get you an exercise bike.
Oh, and have the Linus get up. The proper Linus, not the squeaky one.
No, I just want to take it up room somewhere. I'll put some LEDs on it. We'll make it a gaming exercise bike.
It's got RGB.
Right.
And it needs internet connectivity
Exactly.
because reasons.
Oh, you have 5 desks? I don't.
5 desks. That's like the safer work version of 5 dudes.
Yeah.
I have 2 desks. Here
I have 3.
2. Well, I got an old one in the basement, but I don't. Man, that would only be a computer desk if you had like a CRT monitor. It's one of those old, like corner ones. You know the ones I'm talking about,
Yes.
with it, where you put it in the middle with a pull-up. I have no desk. Kitchen counter as a desk? No, I don't like anything in my counters.
I used the dinner table at the first place we lived in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
It had a dinner table, and Nori's like, yeah, you can use that as your desk. I'll just get one of the teeny tiny ones for me because I only have the one monitor. It's like, okay.
You see
But
that?
it had the under table bit.
There is something about the kitchen table that turns. I see that with John when he's posting. Like, yep, that kitchen
Yes.
table's turned into the project area for everyone.
Yeah.
That's that table back there. Whenever me and Nori need space to like splay things out, we pull the little extendy bits out the side. Ta-da!
Yeah, that works.
I
good.
didn't realize it folded out. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are the. Yeah.
really cheap IKEA extendy bits. It turns like a 4-person, if you sit 1 person per side on the table, turns it into an easy 8-person sit down table. It's very, very nice.
See, that guy's getting proper exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Office
Those
chair.
casters are probably
Steve
going to
has been-
need replacing.
I was about to bring up, with the quality of modern chairs, yes, they're probably going to fly off it. I don't know, man. I'm just not a huge fan of what passes for... Everything's a gaming chair now, right?
Yeah. It's hard to find something that's
The
not a
ones that
gaming
get
chair.
highly advertised, yes.
Yeah. If I'm going to pay more than $100 for a chair, it's going to be made out of wood or something.
Or you go look at the Enterprise marketing materials and you see something like this that I can't even remember the name of the brand. That costs about £250, but I didn't pay for it. Work did.
It's like the high back thing. I would never get any use about that. I always lean forward.
Oh, I do.
You see this one, it doesn't even...
Yeah, you got a low back
It's a
chair.
bar stool.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I could completely not... I could sit on a stool. It wouldn't bother me because I just don't... the only time you catch me leaning back, it's I need to pop my back. Then you find yourself this is a very unfortunate situation I'm about to have. Let's just get up and go pop our back properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can easily pop my back. I just sit up straight, lean my back, and I drop the back of this chair and it goes... and now back.
Poor Pedro.
Oh, maybe. I lay on the floor and lay flat like that and sling one leg over on one side. I'm like, oh.
And this one has the lumbar thingy. It's not adjustable. That's the one thing. It's not adjustable height-wise, but it is adjustable in how much tension you want in the lumbar area.
That's really good.
Yeah, no, that's cranked all the way. So my lower back is always...
So don't worry. In a couple more years, you'll tune in and we'll be talking about prune juice.
Yeah. Like Worf.
Shut up, Grandma.
Yeah, the biggest problem I have with gaming chairs is, I'm too short for the things. So if I sit all the way back, it's uncomfortable and too far back. I have to lean forward to do podcasts. So, and I even have to have a pillow to boost me up. It's because I put it on the lowest setting so my feet touch the ground.
See, this chair is also on the lowest setting, but that's because of, again, the stupid metal thing under this desk. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit under.
But yeah, I'm having difficulty envisioning. Do you just have a random metal bar going under that desk?
It's the frame. It's all 4 feet are connected by a metal frame under the desk.
Uh-huh.
And it's about, yay big.
Did you buy it from a company called Lilliputian Design?
I bought it out of desperation because DPD broke the desk that I wanted.
What if we got you some blocks? We could put it up on blocks. Raise it.
So
that's so
this
true.
needs to go,
kid
and
size.
I need to find something and that's going to be my thing next month. Is going to be my Christmas gift for myself.
Better yet, Pedro.
Proper desk.
We get you some knee pads.
Yes.
I may already have some of those, but their use will not be disclosed on Wednesday. I need a proper desk because this thing has been so annoying since day one. It's
day one.
First day that I got it, put it together, slid the chair under it. It's bling, knees on the metal thing.
Ow, that doesn't sound fun.
Wow.
I remember when Jordan sat here, he was like, Oh my God, a midget sits here. I was like,
Yeah, I just couldn't imagine having to live a life where I was constantly worried about bumping my knees in the desk. How do you manage?
yeah, that's horrible.
I've managed over the past 2 years almost that I've been living here.
Oh. No, it's time to make your own Pedro. You can get something so much nicer doing it that way.
Yeah,
The size you want and height you want, you know.
Having as much of the room
Of the space.
as I have.
Yeah. More efficient.
And have
Space
that
efficient.
for a desk, yeah. Efficiency, that's the, thank you.
Yeah.
He'll get it out of his system. Right now, he's deep into the mental gymnastics of like, all right, I'm getting a new desk. But there's that part of the brain
Yeah.
going, this desk isn't broke, but...
It's not broken, but it has caused me injury.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we need to build a case for the other side of the brain to be like, listen, we're getting a new desk.
Linux Furniture
I've been
Cast.
there.
Oil Pope. Cool. I will be right back.
Well, to be fair, unlike what a certain squeaky internet celebrity might make you think, Linux is pretty boring nowadays, so we gotta find something else. It's not like I had problems getting a game to work this week.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I got this Trackmania server. Do you want something?
No, see, work is keeping me pretty busy. Again, I'm the only one that doesn't seem to have the Rona in Cambridge, so I'm the one that has to go into the office.
Need wash that cup some.
It's had like 8 cups of tea today, so it's
Or you
it's
do
grungy.
the advanced pro strat. Black cup.
I will have to find a nicer cup. There is a nice one on my wish list if anyone wants to be a kindly little soul.
You bought a $500 computer and played Far Cry 5. Air quotes around, I mean, you launched Far Cry 5. Let's just go ahead and see what you did.
I'm pretty sure he could play it at 720p, 30 FPS, like Valve intended it.
Could you ban and report the spam bot?
Yes. What?
I don't know.
What? Mod view, and let's... Soul Graph. Let's see. Ban. And report. Spam malicious link or bot accounts. I'm pretty sure it's a bot account. Message, seriously, do something.
No, we're Twitch.
Submit
We'll wait
report.
till it's critical. Then 2 months after that, we'll roll out a half-baked solution. For something else.
Yes, I suppose if I wanted even more swill water than the average beer that they sell here.
What was the URL, Big Follow?
Bigfollows.com, yes.
I'm just adding a blacklist.
It's been something along those lines every single time. Big follows, I think. That's...
Submit. All right, Nightbot. Speaking of tools that are easier to use than trying to use the Switch interface, Nightbot. Yeah. So who wants to go install slobs?
It's just Streamlabs now.
No, it's slurps. Slurps.
Oh no, Sea Strider. A certain YouTuber told me that you couldn't play Marvel vs. Capcom on an APU at 60 FPS.
Yeah. Sorry, Grandpa. 40 FPS is not playable.
That's how I played games when I had the calculator.
I'm sorry. Show me a console a modern console that is still like rocking 30 FPS gaming.
I mean, I'm not entirely sure about the games coming out on the PS5 and whatever the Xbox is called nowadays, but the PS4 and the Xbone were absolutely 30 FPS, 900p wonders.
Again, modern grandpa. And no one dare call the Switch modern. That thing.
Oh yeah, that's just 720p 30 all the time.
If you're lucky. If you're staring at the grass.
Oh yeah, 4K. They want to try and push 4K. Right. Mm-hmm. 4K 30.
No, that's always, I'm not going to say always. I'm going to say probably for the last 10 years of my life, my base, I mean, it was 720p. Now we live in this advanced moon future. I'm like, yeah, playable 1080p 60. If you can't manage that, you know what? I just don't play the game. I mean, I don't see the problem there because I don't enjoy that experience. And I'm sure someone will find issue with my own personal preference of what I do with my own money and time. Here it comes. I don't complain on the internet about it. I'm like, oh, no, all right, I'll just wait. I just do the XKCD. I'll play this game in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the Linux tax. That's the my OS is not spying on me tax. I'll wait a few years to play your stupidly overpriced game. That's fine.
I don't know. I got some bangers, man. They're rough. I got I want to call it Cyberpunk. I got that. I got Red Dead Redemption, which won't even launch now because of a known bug with NVIDIA.
Wasn't Proton supposed to lie about, you're actually trying to tell it to use NVIDIA, right?
Well, it used to, but yeah, like, give me some of that DLSS. Why? Because it'd be playable then.
Yeah. Except it isn't.
Well, I mean, I probably getting a couple of 100 FPS on that blank screen, man. I mean, let's be honest.
Like the game we threw chairs at last week. Mm-hmm. Launched the game 3,000 FPS on the menu. It's like, really? Really?
It's weird because sometimes you will hit a high FPS that is a multiple of, it operates as a counterbalance to coil one.
It's working pretty hard, but not hard enough.
I mean, it causes like some sympathetic vibration or whatever's causing it. It nulls it out.
Or the fans are spinning so fast that they basically counteract each other. It's active noise cancellation.
I don't know. Maybe you have an NVIDIA card. They only make noise when they turn. It's a founder's edition, which is all the time because you can't cut them off. Thanks, NVIDIA. Yeah, I would, Strider. Yeah, I would. I'm going to go out on a very short, sturdy limb.
Yeah, that's not even
say,
like an internet thing. It's just, you can tell. You absolutely can tell. And if you have the higher the refresh rate your monitor is, the more you start to be able to tell. It's going from 144 to 90. It's like, that could be running a bit smoother. It's like, let's put that down to 72. Just lock it at half. Only sync once every other VBlank. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, now that it's consistent, that looks sort of smooth, and it is a FreeSync panel, and it is using G-Sync Compat, so yeah, it works. But yeah, you can absolutely tell.
Welcome back.
Yay,
Cinemetro.
But NVIDIA, don't you dare change our NVIDIA control panel. All right?
See, that was one of the points I was going to make. It's like play a little bit of devil advocate on the show. It's like, no, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
No, I'll fight you on that one. We'll save it for the show, but I have plenty of inarguable defenses lined up for this one. As I'm one to do.
Yeah, your eyes aren't working properly, Strider.
We've established on multiplications you're blind, bro. So, which again, there's nothing
Matthew,
wrong with that, but you're projecting a little bit. That's what I'm saying. You know?
Oh, poor Matthew. Yeah, I don't really notice the 144. I mean, I have a 120, and I have played on 144 before, and I don't really notice it either. But I do notice a difference, like when you do go higher, that there's not as much tearing. So that I can see.
Tearing shouldn't even be a factor nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, don't say poor Matthew, Joe. We are visually challenged.
Yes, it is noticeable. It is noticeable. Some people like to pretend that it isn't, but if you are actually paying attention to what you're doing, you can absolutely tell the difference between 60 and 75 or 60 and 45. You absolutely can.
Now, this is where I show my age. My old feeble brain's like, 60 to think above that's just unnecessary. Get off my lawn. Children.
You can make that argument, yes. But there's a reason that the VR headsets, the good ones, minimum is 90 hertz.
Pedro's about to explain stuff I
know. I'm not. That's all I'm going to say. There's a reason.
Yeah, some people have tummies problems.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, weed them out, man.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's dial it back in the old days. Look at the 90s, man. 14 frames per second.
Yeah.
If it's just on a monitor, that's perfectly doable.
No. VR. 14 frames per second.
I never tried it, but I can't imagine.
That's what commercial VR was rocking in the 90s.
I still remember Avengers when we threw chairs at it. That was running at 20 FPS. And it's like, okay, no, that's perfectly playable. Then again, the game was made to run at 20 FPS.
Running on an see, Strider knows what I'm talking about. Strider, I posted a link for a toy for you to play with. I saw he did. He got Final Fight working on it. So, pretty in-depth Amiga configuration, and it also worked for the Atari ST. I mean, it went deep. Yeah,
I think I went to one mall that had a VR setup in the 90s, and the line was stupid, so my parents didn't want to wait, so I didn't get to try it.
Yeah, I watched a document, I know, on the company that designed those, and that was pretty interesting, like the tech that they cooked together, and things happened. I mean, it just wasn't there. The technology wasn't there.
Do you remember those Sony glasses that you could watch movies on the go from like mini disc type of situation, and you could watch a movie and while on the go?
No.
I remember my grandma got like 2 of those because when she had the small electrical appliance shop, she was an authorized Sony and Philips reseller. Very big things at the time. And she got 2 of those Sony things, and she put them at the MSRP, which was stupid back in the day. It's like 500 euros or something like that. It's insane. And they both sold very, very quickly. I remember seeing them. I was like, I want to try one of them. No, they're brand new in box. They're to be sold. It's like, dang it.
We need to see if we can get some on eBay so we can like drown them in retro price. That's a Tron HMT. See,
Yep.
those are designed for people with better friends than I have, because that's just an attack vector. Same thing with video. This is the only thing that ever happens. And I'm guilty of it too, because I immediately go to, how can I start screwing with this person?
Just a little tickly bits.
I mean, after you've dialed the maliciousness back a little bit. Okay.
Yes. After you realize, okay, I'm going to have to pay for the damages, so let's make this as, uncostly as possible.
It's always the process of sitting. It's like, are you going to hurt yourself? Maybe? No? All right. Let's add some water hazards.
But yes, it's those Sony Glasstrons. It's like two of them that showed up at the shop. Both of them went very, very quickly, and I never saw either of the two people that that bought them. Never saw them wearing them outside.
Why would you?
Because that's what Sony was advertising. So you could watch movies on the go.
People just getting run over?
Yep.
All right. Listen, maybe it was...
That was what the Sony marketing people didn't figure out at the time. This
possibly could have been Sony's attempt at low-key population control.
Yeah.
Sony's made some weird stuff over the years, too. So.
Yeah. That's one thing people always said. Oh, you'll get car sick if you're like looking down and playing Game Boy or the PSP or whatever while the car is. Never happened to me.
No. Me neither. That's people who are sensitive to such things. I used
It's
to
like
sit
I am
in
sensitive
a
to
camper
like motion sickness
on a bed.
on a fixed screen. If I'm looking at a fixed screen and the frame rate is so bad that that will give me some weird motion sickness. But no, playing like Game Boy on the cars, like, oh, we're already here. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do I play a game with motion? If it's enabled, yes. And I'm still at a blissful point in my life that I know there's a slider that says FOV. Don't know what it does.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
We lost the big proponent of FOV sliders, Total Biscuit.
I mean, I know
He was the big one. If you had a first-person game and you didn't have an FOV slider, he was gonna rail you.
If that's a problem, just don't play the game.
That was kind of what he was doing. We're reviewing the game and telling people, it's like, don't buy it. Unless you can tolerate the narrow field of view, don't buy it.
All right, everyone. We get about 2 minutes, and we're gonna get going.
Yay.
Oh, that's why that's... Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. That should be fine. I think. Yeah, it should be. All right.
Okay.
We'll find out. Oh, and as in true tradition, I messed up and I put something in. I peruse Guitar Center used constantly because I'm always looking around for just like cheap Firewire interfaces that aren't on the list. You know, like $20, $30 little deals. And someone was like, oh, that'd be fun to do. I didn't even know that existed. And never put anything on your wish list on Guitar Center because it immediately sells.
Oh, yeah, that that is the thing.
Unlike
I think I
eBay,
had done
where
that too.
you look at an item, it's like, there are 23 people watching. Okay, no one's ever going to buy that. Cool.
There's that. I mean, a lot of times, sometimes I'll put stuff on my watch list on eBay just to see if I get like $10 off.
A little offer.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I wait
if
for the
cut me
offers.
A little deal, maybe. I'll think about it. But if I don't get a bite on it,
Yeah.
it's got to be something I'm planning on buying anyway.
That's cool, boo.
You're making things? Steve, how are you at masonry? Pretty not good at it.
I was just looking at the dude's technique. It's very good. He's got the leg swing to help with the motion.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Scale.
Steve, we're not building fishes, man. Come on, we're joking around.
There's one thing missing from that, though, is the cement between the bricks. And then you've got to put the steel rods in the center.
All right. You know what?
They're just stacking them, getting ready for a job. That's all.
We'll go in just a second. I'm going to take a little bio break. That's what I'm debating right now. I'm like, you ever do that? You're like, can I hold that?
Oh, yeah. Trying to figure out
Yes,
if you
and
can
then
hold
I
it.
get to the end of the show. It's like, I gotta pee really,
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah, then you get up to do that, and you do that like, man, I should have brought something to read. Jeez.
Yeah, it's like, we're gonna be here a while.
Oh.
Yeah, no, if you ever find yourself in a position it's like, ooh, something's about to start, but I need to pee. Go pee.
Yeah.
You're not
that's
going to enjoy
always-
the experience.
yeah.
You're always going to be thinking, I really have to pee. Just go. Linux Health Advice Cast.
Yes. And now, truthfully, now that I'm older, I can't always hold it. So that's a problem. So I have to go when my
That's
body
just called
says.
being human. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to a certain point where you're not
Yeah.
even able to hold it in. So go pee. It's good.
Yeah.
It makes you, it fills you with relief. It's like,
Yes.
so nice. And this has been your moment of
Yeah,
peace
your
with Pedro.
Health tips with Pedro. Doo-doo. We have to do a little jingle for it. Pedro's tipped corner.
Pretty sure that would be misinterpreted given that this is the internet, but yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, 2 blocks. Okay.
Oh, he's picking 2. Okay, right.
I see. There are 2 halves, I guess.
All right. Good and good. Recording's live. All right. Yes, that's right. Closed captioning system. Recording's alive. It hungers. It feeds.
I'm alive.
All right, everyone. Let's do a show.
Yay.
Hey, welcome back to Linux Weekly, Daily Wednesday, where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux, open source, and just anything else that catches our fancy. Now, I am Vince Stone, that is Joe Bryant, and over there is Pedro Mateus.
Hello.
Yes. And together with everyone watching us live on Twitch, man, we do get quite the chunky one to talk about this week. And Pedro, I want you to start off with Pedro was so excited about something that it amused me. It amused me awesome. That he thought, it's like, you know what, I need to mention this. I need to let everyone know about this. Because I feel partially guilty because I gave you, I think, an appropriate amount of static for having 2 Burger Kings delivered.
Yes.
He was excited.
2 Burger Kings on the same day. I was very, very happy that day. This lunch at lunchtime, Nori and a visitor person who's staying with us this week went into town to do social things and basically get out of the house before the other lockdown hits. So I was left alone, and it's like, okay, I need something for lunch. I went to go get Burger King, but it was closed. So I went looking for something else, and I found out that Uber Eats must have been feeling left out because it's the only food delivery company that didn't deliver here. So they do now, and they have McDonald's. So I ordered some McDonald's for lunch. That's my story. I'm easy to amuse.
Awesome, Pedro.
How about you, Jill? What's going on?
Oh, geez. So I had a great time celebrating the holidays at Disneyland with my Steve husband. That was a lot of fun. The Christmas fantasy parade was incredible. And then to watch the lighting of the castles with all the icicles and then the Snope that fills the Main Street USA is pretty awesome. The fake soap, the fake snow.
I mean, they wash them.
Snope. We call it Snope.
That's what it says. Disneyland. Come and get bathed.
Yeah.
We know you all stink. You've been here all day, and it's California. So there you go. Here's some soap.
Right. So I started getting a bunch of notifications yesterday. Didn't know what was going on. Mm-hmm. Then I started getting other notifications about, hey, something's going on. What? Long story short, it takes a minute to sort through 14 years of Reddit posts and comments to make sure there wasn't anything terribly salacious in it, which there wasn't. It was very.
It was featured rather publicly, so you could see it.
I'm talking about people going through my profile because I knew that. I was like, I better go, because again, this is not, I'm not a somebody who burns social media accounts. If I say something, I just stick with it. And again, my Reddit account is 14 years old. So I was like, oh yeah, let's drag that back. Did I make anything that doesn't fly? And I was like, it's a little let down. What I'm talking about, everyone, on the video version is, that Linus kid. I finally got around to watching this video so we could talk about it a little bit. And just out of the corner of my eyes is, oh no. Oh no. There's
your picture.
That's definitely my Reddit account where I was talking about, somebody was asking about new Uncode, which is the one that doesn't do so much copying from the CPU to memory RAM and back and forth and all. And I was like, no, it's not. I kid you not. I kid you not. Already on Reddit, somebody, not Reddit, but Twitter has written back to that because I thought it was amusing. I'm like, well, that's kind of funny. They're like, yes, it is. I used Uncode. I was like, wow, don't bother reading what we're talking about here.
Or watching the video.
Right. I mean, that was just like some Full Metal confidently, and I didn't write him back. And of course, this is Linux is the new Uncode, NVIDIA's fault. Go rewatch that announcement where they're on, this will be available for Linux. I mean, that was NVIDIA's fault. And they went, oops, dropsy doodle. But that's not all we got to talk about this week, because that video, if you're unfamiliar, Linus, what's his last name? Tech Tips?
Sebastian.
I don't, is doing Linux series where him and his cohort are trying to use Linux until they don't or whatnot. And this has led to some interesting developments, usually a lot of head-on-desk syndrome for a lot of people in the audience.
There was a lot of that happening yesterday, yes.
Because it is kind of difficult. You got to think about it. I mean, this is Linus Tech. That channel it's technology entertainment.
Yes.
And even for me, it's difficult to put that through the right scope. Like, this is not intended for...
It's not intended for the people who know.
Yeah.
Or if you do know, just go in knowing full well that what they say is going to either irritate you or make you laugh very, very loud.
It's like reality TV with electronics. But I do want to pose this because I want to bring this up. Some projects are going through the trouble of making things Linus-proof.
Yes.
Starting with Go XLR on Linux. A recent commit was merged. New proof installation instructions based on what feedback came up in part 2 of Linus's Linux Daily Driver Challenge. So what did they add, Jill?
Yeah, they had, these commands must be executed in the console. To do this, open the terminal, paste the following lines, and press enter. And then you just put in wget and the usual for getting scripts.sh. But that was great that they made that easier to read and to install for the average user.
I did watch the video and I saw the clicking execute on the .sh script from Pedro. How did you process that?
I mean, the double clicking to run the sh script, that's fine. If you're on KDE like Linus is, it gives you the option. Do you want to just run it? Do you want to run it in the terminal? Or do you want to open it for editing? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. What annoyed me was the right-click save as. It's like, oh, but the file extension is sh. Why isn't it an sh file? Apparently, file extensions don't mean the type of file. It's like, have you ever used an operating system? I'm not just talking about Linux. I'm talking about Windows, too. Go ahead and change an HTML file in Windows and then change it to .bat. See how that flies.
Yeah.
Bats can fly.
Yeah, bats can fly.
Yeah, but Windows batch files that are just renamed HTMLs. No, sorry. That one kind of irked me a little bit.
It's been interesting to watch, and the video series is doing exactly what it was designed to do: is generate the internet drama, and
yes,
mission accomplished.
And I will play devil's
creating
advocate.
Good press for Linux.
I will play, not devil's advocate, squeaky Canadian Linus's advocate, as he does bring up a couple of good points. The Ven's probably going to disagree with me, but the NVIDIA control panel looking like it's from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because it is. That's how it's always looked on Linux. But that I agree, much like AMD not having any kind of control panel on Linux, that needs improving. That's exactly the kind of stuff that needs improving. And if, I don't know, adding a couple of more lines to a readme.md on GitHub is going to help people get past some of their
Pedro's
inherent...
defense, yes, that would require the end user to read the instructions before blindly trying to power their way through something using their extensive next button clicking knowledge. This is not a stab at Windows. This is a stab at people who don't bother RTFM.
Yes.
No, I got this. No, you don't. I mean, this is something you need to figure out at some point in your life. You're going to injure yourself. And to the NVIDIA thing, NVIDIA, don't listen to this monster. I like my CRTs. Okay. I like my CRTs and my NVIDIA side.
You can leave the CRTs. Just add a bit more functionality to
what
the
more do you
control
want
panel.
there? What does it not do?
It doesn't give you the dynamic super resolution options like the Windows version does. It doesn't give you it does give you the per application profiles, but it is very, 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 very convoluted and very limited in the way that it does it. It's much easier and much more intuitive with the Windows version of it. The actual separation of things and the ability to actually persistently save the settings without you having to set the NVIDIA config file to read-only, otherwise it keeps changing every time you open that stupid little control panel, NVIDIA.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
Yes, after you make it read-only, I had to do the same thing to mine.
I didn't have to make anything read-only. I just saved it in my home directory after I named it and put it the settings there, and I told it, hey, pull settings from this. Like
that's another way around it. I just made it read only. It's like, okay, it doesn't change anymore.
In the thing to go to save that in your home directory, so it loads that every time.
But truth be told, the NVIDIA Control Center under Windows still looks like it's from Windows 95. It has more functionality, yes, but the interface is pretty lame looking.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen. I was talking to Jordan about this last night when we were streaming some Proforce. And Jordan's like, basically it's more whooshy. It blinks more, and maybe that's what's holding Linux back. We need more whooshy.
It exposes a lot more functionality.
Yeah,
that's the big problem.
You've got a 3D
Pedro,
rotating NVIDIA logo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you've hit me with like one hard fact, like super scaling resolution, which I admittedly something I wouldn't use, but okay, that is one.
And, it's not just the NVIDIA control panel. I'm railing against NVIDIA here because that is the example that's on the table.
Oh, hang on, Pedro. Hang on. Wayland, where's your God now?
Yes. It's all of that functionality that you have and you're deliberately not exposing it. So who are you building that for? Because you're not exposing it to the people who might want to use it. And
Pedro, I'm speaking on behalf of NVIDIA because I just got a memo from them. They're like, did you see what that Linus kid tried to do to an SH script? You want us to expose more functionality?
Look, I'm not saying that Linus made all good points through that video. In fact, he made some really dumb ones. But that one, the NVIDIA one, was a good point. That GUI is atrocious. It is.
Don't change it, NVIDIA. But make something for Wayland because in a decade or so, I'll be around to that. And I want it to be there waiting for me. All right. So speaking of whooshy, blinky, edges, filed off things, and popular desktops, apparently.
Yes. Apparently, the second most popular desktop environment is introducing something that the most popular desktop environment has been, has basically made it hit central points since version 3. We're talking about the overview type of situation. If you ever click the activities button on GNOME, you'll get that full screen interface that shows you all the windows you have open and the virtual desktops that you have along with the applications on the corner if you want to click on that. And KDE is now introducing KDE Overview. It is very much the same. If you've used...
what am I looking at?
Yep. You're looking at the 3 windows that are open in that virtual desktop. They're all splayed out side by side so you can see each one. So and you could change virtual desktops from there. And I don't know.
They made Alt-Tab whooshy?
No, that's not Alt-Tab. That's like you hitting the Windows key in GNOME 3 and it opens that full screen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
okay, maybe I need to rephrase that.
Does.
How is this better than Alt-Tab?
It's different. It's not better or worse. It is very much the GNOME
as the resident
way
old
of doing
curmudgeon.
things.
I'm looking at this and going, what was the design philosophy? I bet we could utilize more CPU and GPU cycles if we did this instead of Alt-Tab.
That's something you should tell the users.
It's more visual.
Although it has It has been demonstrated time and time again that users seem to prefer the big whooshy things. Remember the big cube for switching virtual desktops?
Yes, that was a toy. No one used it, Pedro.
Oh, I used it.
Well,
I like wobbly
this
windows
may be a toy
too.
to a lot of people. This may very well be a toy because you've been using KDE because maybe you don't like the overview style situation and you prefer the more traditional desktop environment paradigm. Yeah, you don't have to use this, and but there were people who liked it and they just didn't want to use GNOME because GNOME ties, well, it handcuffs your hand to your leg and asks you now use your computer. Okay, fine. So if you want KDE, but you like the overview, it's official now. If you were using what was the applet called? The Home Run. If you were using Home Run in the past, this is that, but official. So that's good.
Being KDE, it's reasonably easy. It's like 16 menus in, and you can.
Pretty sure this one will be a single tick box. It's literally a tick box. You go probably right click on the desktop. It's like, I want the overview done.
Do you think it'll be something they'll switch to default? Or
I don't know if they're not going to make it default. The article says that it's not going to be did, but it is going to be enabled. So
chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I think actually this is a great addition to the Plasma desktop because the GNOME 40 full screen overview feature, I've actually have come to quite enjoy. I've been using it a lot. I never thought I really would, but I've been using it a lot. And since KDE is so customizable and takes some of the best features from other X window managers and desktop environments, this actually makes sense because KDE kind of has the best of all the different window managers and DEs. And honestly, this makes the user experience going from GNOME to KDE a bit more uniform. So for those users used to GNOME, now they have functionality in KDE that they're used to using. So it's nice.
It is genuinely a good thing to see because, GNOME is taking features away from people and KDE is introducing stuff that GNOME already had. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm very much okay with this.
Yes.
Are you okay with updating firmware? Because this is a real question. Now, this is something that's been available on Linux for a long time. Now, for me personally, when it comes to updating firmware, and I mean on anything, I have a very strict, not broke, don't fix. I mean, for me, updating firmware is like entering nuke launch codes. Like, come on, because I've seen stuff just go up in fire because of a bad firmware flash. Like, oh, look, because I'm also the guy 2 days later with a JTAG. Like, okay, I can resurrect this thing. Don't want to mess with it. But we've had FW up for a minute, and it does give me the good feels. Like, just in case I'm not going to be hunting down a thumb drive with FreeDOS on it to run some exe that may or may not load the thing you need it to.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing, Ven, is with each update, you get more functionality with new hardware. So things will start working more, which is nice. So our favorite open source daemon for managing the installation of firmware updates on Linux, FWUPD, has a new release. And yes, that is hard to say. So, I don't want to say, it sounds like, So FWUPD 1.7.2 is now available with lots of bug fixes, and it has a much faster and smaller daemon. So the developers did tweaks to the compiler flags to reduce the install size by around 300 kilobytes, which is really great. And this also speeds up the daemon startup by approximately 40% by doing less at startup. Hooray.
That's
a faster, that's actually huge. And this is really cool because it's following the FWUPD 1.7 and 1.7.1 release, which added support for Logitech devices with the unified battery feature. Awesome. The Dell Atomic Dock. The HP Thunderbolt Dock G4. The Wacom 3rd Gen Intuos Bluetooth. And the SteelSeries Stratus wireless gaming controllers. So yeah, with this series, we have lots of new hardware support, and it's faster on top of that. What more can you ask for?
SteelSeries. Now that's the name I did not expect to see on the list, but yeah,
yes.
that's the thing. And it first hit me whenever I do a fresh install of Fedora on a laptop, and I see the little notifications. You have firmware updates. Okay, right. So click on the thing, install, we need to reboot away. And you see, oh, look, it's a BIOS update. You have a laptop in front of you doing a BIOS update where you used the mouse. You didn't type any commands. You didn't do anything. You clicked on the thing to do the updates and you clicked the button to reboot. That's amazing. That is amazing. This is possibly the best thing that ever came out of GNOME.
I looked at it. I set it up. It showed me that I could update some firmware, and I went, nah. Everything's working. I only update firmware if something is not working. I was having to think about that. I mean, even down to...
it's nice.
I kind of could get a pretty decent deal on a newer AMD APU. They don't call them APUs now, do they? What do they call them now? Not APUs.
They are APUs.
I call them APUs, but they're like just the G series. Ryzen's.
Yes, they're APUs. Yeah.
Call them something else. I don't like APUs.
I was going to say Apu, but then do the impersonation, but you can't do that anymore. So
what I was getting at is this
graphics
would require updating the UEFI on that board, which I'm just not going to do. Don't trust it.
I haven't done it. I haven't updated the BIOS for the X570 motherboard, but the Ryzen 5495 Dell laptop, the X240, the Lenovo B50, all of them, it's like, do a fresh install. It's like, you have firmware updates. Like, oh, boop, done.
No, I will say in my defense for my brothers and sisters out there, both of the motherboards that I have in here for the big boxes are MSI. Most of you are nodding your heads if you ever dealt with that. There's no rollback feature on MSI BIOS updates.
Yeah, that is an issue. Yeah.
So you might understand where I'm coming from. All right. Flatpak. We love containerization, desktop containerization, especially on this show. And yeah. From ludocoat.com. All this is going to be in our show notes after the fact. This post comes, Flatpak is most definitely not the future. And this is long because I started reading this and I kept on reading it. And you know what? I have to come back and finish this a couple of days ago. But
it was a very good read.
Come on, who doesn't like a simple calculator being an itsy bitsy 152 megabytes? I mean, the future is here, people. That's all I'm going to say, because Flatpaks have solved problems just completely, like library fragmentation, app distribution on Linux, solved, done. You can do it with a Flatpak. Now, I'm not even joking when I say that, because Flatpaks are not pretty. But what I just said is true. I mean, that really does cut down on things. That's a pragmatic solution for this imperfect world, this ecosystem that we're in. It gets the job done. Is it the end product? Probably not. But you got to think about it kind of like a DMG for a Mac, but it's filled with penguins. And that's the thing, man. Mm-hmm. But, you know, if you're going to hate on snaps, you're going to hate on Flatpaks, app images, what's your alternative, Brad? That's what I always bring up. And every now and then the brave soul will come at me. Well, what about open build service? And we all have a good laugh and we pat him on the head. And
it's called Susie? No.
No. Here's the thing. You know, there's a couple of good points in here. You know, but the ones that I saw that were hitting is, you know, because we're no longer in this world where doubling performance memory size every few years. That's not a thing anymore. That, you know, we've been through that. Oh man, it was a fun ride from like, say 95 to like 2010. Like that was pretty neat. Now it's like more cores, lower power. And that's one of the things that's brought up, memory consumption with containerization, extra power usage and all that. But I think it's very negligible. I'm going to say the biggest thing stopping me from doing anything with Flatpaks is, hey, I don't have a need. If I got it native and all that fun stuff, I'm not going to deal with it. But here's a big hurdle. It means I have to install another app store. If everything was a Flatpak, maybe, but it's not. So I don't know. Is Flatpaks, Jill, will Flatpaks solve everything, or will they infest your computer and cause it to run out, kick down the back door, screeching into the night, never to be seen again?
I don't think it's going to solve everything, but it's an option that we have of the 3 top containers, Flatpaks, snaps, and app images. So I think the more container technology we have, the better the technology will become and the more refined it will become, because they're all the 3 of those are kind of a little bit competing with each other, but not really. It's Linux. So, but I think the author actually brings up a lot, and I mean a lot of great points in this article. And one of them I liked was that he said was an app store based on a sandboxing technology for native apps is a reasonable idea. But for small apps and games from independent developers, a proper sandboxed app marketplace can, in theory, increase their reach. It can eliminate much of the trust that would otherwise be necessary to run them on your computer and can bring native apps closer to the ease of use of web apps. So I think he has, really good ideas there on, to help with the bloat of Flatpaks and snaps.
I mean, what he describes with that is that Jill just quoted is Steam. That's exactly, and he keeps bringing up Steam, the way that Valve is doing. The way that Valve is doing the pressure vessel, and all the different kinds of runtimes that they use, and which you can control. You can effectively select what kind of containerization you have for your game if you're using the Steam runtime properly. But this article, the title is a bit inflammatory. Let's go with that. But it does call attention to a bigger problem, which is the whole backwards compatibility on Linux. And Ven was not joking, because yes, Flatpaks out of the snaps and Flatpak and Docker and all the containerized solutions, Flatpaks, in my opinion, are the best. And I think Valve agrees, because that's what pressure vessel's based on. But yes, that it requires you to have a very big runtime that has all of the libraries, which can take up a lot of space. And he does, that's one of the very good points that he makes, is software coding should be more efficient. It should become increasingly more efficient, more space efficient, more resource efficient. And it hasn't. Just look at any Electron app released in the past 2 months.
Oh, come on. I mean, we might as well drag Rust into this, too. I mean,
Rust, for all its...
compared to Electron, is lean, mean fighting machine.
Yes.
However, but I mean, this is the higher level language you get. I mean, yes, but come on. I think what this really boils down to, I was reading through this on Hacker News. I saw this will finally get company X, Y, and Z to bring their products, and they were talking about Adobe and stuff like this, over to Linux, to which I will say, no, it won't. Let me tell you, because any corporation, anybody, they're going to use, hey, fragmentation. What they're really saying is, we're not going to bother with Linux,
we don't want to do it.
This is a convenient excuse. And if you change that, and you're like, hey, look, everything's here. Like, give me a second. Come up with something. Yeah, see, we got this other reason now. Let's see, Pedro and I have a ton of experience with this mentality, dealing with talking to developers trying to get games over to Linux. And, oh boy, our favorite one was middleware. This magical middleware.
Oh, I can't get Fmod to work. Unity made Fmod a one-click affair. Where did that argument go? Oh, audio doesn't work on Linux now. Right. Okay.
Which, you know what? I'm just going to say, save everybody a lot of time, because I respect you. If you're like, I don't want to deal with Linux, cool. But don't come up with this. Don't propagate like, oh, it's fragmentation. You can do it with Flatpaks. You can do it with snaps. I will say good news, everyone. It's not official yet, but you should be getting OBS as available on FlatHub. Officially supported version, which is the one I'm
officially supported. Yes. That's the key word, right?
That's the key word, yeah.
But yeah, no, and the last point about this very article is one that I disagree with, because I was very much on board with everything that was being brought up until I read this bit. It is true that in the past, open source library ABIs were flaky. I'm here to tell you that you no longer have to be afraid. I call shenanigans. Unless that was very poorly worded, at which point the shenanigans are just you done fumbled your tongue there or your fingers with the typing, because no, it hasn't. I downloaded my entire humble library of games, and there are games that straight up don't start, no matter what library versions you pull down. You have to be running a kernel from around that time. Otherwise, it doesn't start at all. And there's also, the fact that ABI changes have made it so you have to have big runtimes. Like
Pedro, we've already figured out all of the backwards compatibility with Windows gaming. It's just Proton.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. You take a game that doesn't run on Windows 10 or Windows 11, and it will probably run out of the box in Proton, which no one seems to be talking about.
Hush. It's interesting times. And, GNOME even made a mention. They had a blog post on the GNOME blog addressing some of the stuff with the Flatpak, with the disk usage and, deduplication, all the other fun stuff. If you want to read that, I'll go ahead and drop a link in the show notes. Just coming back for a couple of points about the runtimes, not that completely unhinged out of control, just a little bit. But, I mean... This is what you're going to run into.
I mean, yes, turning a 4.4 megabyte calculator into a 130 megabyte download is annoying, but you also picked Calc, which downloads the kitchen sink.
GNOME Calc.
The KDE framework.
I was thinking that when I read it too.
It's like, that's the worst possible example, but I see you're trying to illustrate your point. Go on.
Yeah.
Is a thing. So... This is not a repeat. Stop me if you've heard this one before. German state planning to switch 25,000 PCs to Libreoffice. That's right. Holstein is going to be knocking this out. And this is pretty cool. I was just reading through this. This is from the documentation.org. They're also going to be moving everything over to Jitsi instead of Teams. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty dope. The plan is by the end of 2026, Microsoft Office is to be completely replaced in the system on all 25,000 computers used by civil servants and employees. That's including teachers. Mm-hmm. It did make me sad. It's like, oh man, R.I.P. Linux. That was the distribution. Was it Berlin? Was it Berlin? What was the?
It wasn't
Munich.
Berlin.
Munich. Yes. Okay. That was their homegrown Linux distro that they'd rolled out. Then Microsoft was like, let's see, well, you wondering some more Windows again? I don't know. Right as it stands right now with these 25,000 seats in the Linux distribution has been like chosen as a standard, which it clearly should run. What are you running, Pedro?
I'm running KDE Neon.
The opposite of that. Make sure you're running the opposite of that. And one real question is something like when you're dealing with this, everyone's thinking about word, processing and all that. I'm like, where's the state of LibreOffice Calc compared to Excel? Because that's the one that's going to hang people up harder than WordPress.
It's not there yet.
It's not.
Yeah.
No.
It's not there.
I do know.
I do know that OpenOffice
Excel for work. Though this delay is causing me and Jill to talk at the same time. But yes, since I have a Windows laptop for work, whenever I have to deal with, say, 3,000 rows of data with about 15 columns of values, I don't even bother with LibreOffice because the 2 times that I've tried, it pegs one core at 100% and it takes about 10 minutes to open a single CSV. while Excel opens it in 5 seconds. So, yeah, no, it's not comparable, unfortunately.
Yeah, it isn't. I know they mentioned also in the article that they would be using in the interview only Office, and only Office is actually better with Excel documents. From me just playing with it and from hearing from other organizations that use it.
I mean, worst case scenario, they can open up a web browser.
Yes, because Google, if you're using it in Chrome, the Google spreadsheet from Google Docs will actually do a very good job of it.
Isn't there, I know we've covered it over the years. There's a couple of like roll your own Google Docs solutions, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of companies that just offered to set that up locally for you.
That could be interesting. I would say good on them. This is something we'll definitely have to be keeping an eye on. See if it sticks this time, because my personal belief is all governments should, for the good of the populace, all run open software, complete stack, up and down.
Absolutely.
For their own safety too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just like, oh, we only put back doors and they're everywhere, whether you know. And that's not a healthy dose of paranoia. That's just something that's been proven over and over and over and over.
And I wonder how much Microsoft is willing to forego on the licensing for them not to do this.
Microsoft going to Microsoft, baby. That's
Yeah. So, actually, this time, though, they are doing it right. Unlike what Munich was doing, by switching users away from MS Office to LibreOffice on Windows to let them get used to their new open source software on the Windows OS they are used to using. Kudos. Let them spend some time with that open source software like you would with Firefox on Windows, and then switching them from Windows to Linux. And transitioning this slowly, that was the mistake that Munich made. They needed to do it slower and do a stepped transition as opposed
Munich
to...
spent a lot of time on like rollout and training. What messed up Munich was Microsoft coming in and paying them.
Yes, they literally went there.
An incredible amount of money.
Please use, we'll give you money.
Yeah. Microsoft bought their way back in. They had a perfectly working functional system. Like you're talking about a plan that was so tight, they rolled out their own Linux distribution.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
within
they did. 5 years, they'd already, in the savings compared to the Microsoft licensing, the savings had already paid for the migration.
Yeah.
So, it was literally Microsoft going in. It's like,
Microsoft just has
go back to
dirt
Windows.
on somebody's
go back to Windows.
So,
But they're learning from the mistakes that Munich made, and that's the point here. So
the only mistake Munich made was going back to Microsoft.
Yes.
There were some other things pointed out in that interview.
Pedro, will you tell me about the Rust Foundation?
I can tell you about who the new director and CEO is, because that's what this particular bit of news is about. It's Dr. Rebecca Rumble. And very, very big kudos to Dr. Rebecca Rumble. Very, very big kudos. She's now in charge of Rust, the dear darling of coding in 2021.
Electron?
So... No. I mean actual coding. I don't mean... WYSIWYG.
Come on,
HTML
Electron Blocks 2022.
But no, she's going to be in charge of Rust effectively, and that is a position that I do not envy, because there's a lot of very opinionated people on the internet. Hello. I don't really care about Rust. I'm not a developer, so I don't really have an opinion. But there's a lot of people with opinions about Rust on the internet, so that's not a position that I envy. And the other bits that seem to be coming down for the Rust Foundation is the big push to get Rust compute into the cloud. That basically Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, the big ones are going, we want to have all the Rust
where do you even find a truck
computing done in...
No. As you wish.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Facebook? I meant Meta. No, it's to move everything, basically all of the hardware intensive workload, move that to a remote place so that they can work people to the bone, code like we're not paying you.
And hang on, then you can ask them to come in the office and they'll get even angrier.
Yeah. It's like, why? You already don't need my computer to process the thing, so why do I need to go in?
Principle, man. It's principle, I think, Pedro.
So I was really happy to hear this. Congratulations, Rebecca. And I think I have actually years ago met her before at one of the conventions. So, but this actually needed to happen for the Rust programming language to be, taken seriously in the tech industry, especially now that some Linux drivers are being written in Rust. Microsoft is using Rust to rewrite some Windows components. And the Internet Security Research Group, ISRG, Prosimo project is seeking to secure fundamental Internet programs and protocols by rewriting them in Rust. So they needed a CEO. they needed this foundation and the structure now that they're getting more known in the industry.
Now, lo and behold,
Definitely.
and I don't know if this is necessarily related. I personally don't believe it is. I think this is addressing some other issues with the Rust team because it's not every day the entire moderation team of a project nopes at the same time, unilaterally. Like, we're all out, all of us, every single, we're done. But this is another thing I wanted to throw in there.
2 days ago.
This is an interesting merge. The entire moderation team has resigned effective immediately. The resignation is done in protest of the core team placing themselves unaccountable to anyone but themselves. But isn't that the easy way to run things?
Yeah.
Top
you
down
get to the top and then you make yourself immune.
Exactly. You don't have to listen to the peasants. Go do your jobs. So I'm just saying that probably just want to keep an eye out on rumblings going on because I read through the mod team resignation thing. Like, we're not even going to air some dirty laundry, but and again, I don't think these two are like there's any correlation. I think this is like something that's been going on for a while, and I don't know. I do know each and every one of you who support us on Patreon are awesome individuals, carbon-based entities. Might even call you people. That's over at patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. We got some bonus stuff we throw your way up to and including live and uncut versions of these shows. I dropped a little behind the scenes. Last Friday, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to record the startup procedure. So if you've been dying, you want to see an old man fumble around for about 15 minutes, flipping switches, cutting things on. Like, I walked in here with just the night light on and I started up everything, all over capture and audio systems, which is, I know somebody was like, I've been wondering how that worked. That's up. Go take a look at it. We got some early access stuff we drop out. We always do our best to get everything out to the masses for free, but we got access to our Discord, which is kind of fun. Let's just be honest. You get to see Pedro ordering Burger King twice in the same day, making me wonder if Discord is in fact hung. I was like, is that picture still there? And I'm trying to scroll, and I'm like, oh no, he's back. And I'm like, oh, I need to get somewhere to type. But that is where we're at the other 6 days a week, and we're actually in there. That is a very important thing I like to throw out because I back other people on Patreon and I get their Discord, and I'm not. If you know me, I'm not like, hey, how's it going? No, I'm like, I'll just sit back and watch. I'm like, you're not even like talking in your thing. We're arguing just straight out throughout the day, having our good times and discussions and posting interesting pictures of bathroom appliances.
Yes. Really, really particular toilet seat dressings.
Well, I needed to steer the conversation away from Lamborghini stickers for netbooks.
Hey, I admit that was my fault for not specifying which 4 netbooks I wanted that I was still missing. So that's on me. And then I gave you the list.
What are you trying to unlock, man? It's like,
those are the interesting ones. Those are the ones I want. So yeah,
All right.
they're kind of unicorns, unfortunately, but I want them. I do.
We do thank you for your support, sharing the show, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff you do on social media. And if you want to, we got a horribly bad idea. That's for Linux Studio. You get your name back here. How do you do that? You head over to linuxscreencast.com. Pedro's got a list. Jill's got a list. Jordan's got a list. And I got one for the studio. You pick up something from that. Help us out with whatever. And everything's like show-ish related because you know what? I don't care what you say. Stuffed animals are show related for Jill. You see how much time is spent stacking things up to make sure it's in shot for the camera? That's show related. So I don't want anyone saying differently. But we do thank you for your support. What else? Oh, right. 'Tis the season, everyone. We got one slice of pie.
Ooh. We got
That's supposed to be
M&Ms on
turkey.
pumpkin pie?
That's just I don't know. That's way too much sugar.
That's Smarties or non-peanutted M&Ms.
Oh, no. You see, listen, they call me Satan for that's Skittles.
Oh.
No, not Skittles.
Skittle pie.
Yeah.
A nice savory bite of, I don't know. This isn't a Mars rover, Pedro.
No, it isn't. But it could be if, give SpaceX enough money. And if you have the money to buy one of these outright, maybe you have money for that too. Yeah, this is the Open Autonomous Transport System. And right now, you can absolutely get one. As a kit, you'll have to put it together yourself, obviously, for €600.
Boo, I was going
joking.
to guess. Thanks, Buzzkill.
But yeah, the fact that this is 3D printed, and they make a very good point out of saying this is all open source. It runs off of a Raspberry Pi. That's the brains of the thing. Obviously, it's a slice of pie. What are we talking about? The Raspberry Pi with a couple extra PCBs.
I'm looking at this and it looks like I'm walking down the street in Italy getting a free pizza, some Amazon packages, maybe something to drink.
Just insulate the inside properly, put some ice packs on it, and you have a cooler. Or, you can have your own little Baby Yoda carrying thing, but it's on wheels. Whatever you'd like. If you have like the rest of the stuff, or you want to build your own with your own motors, your own servos, your own everything.
Pedro, you've sold me
45
a box of lies, man.
Oh, sorry, it's not available at the moment. It was available yesterday when I added the link to the show notes.
Yeah, I saw.
But yeah, it's $45 or €45 for the PCBs and the Android app that you can use as a remote. If you don't want the Android app, that's another €20 you can shave off of that, and you just pay $25 for just the PCBs, and you can supply your own Pi and 3D printed parts and everything else yourself. So, yeah, the off-the-shelf price, if you want to buy everything, that's a bit much, but if you just want the PCBs, that's very, very reasonable indeed. And it's all open source software, so ask you.
Yeah, this is really, I was really impressed by this because I can actually definitely see this as a cost-effective way to transport, food, medicine, water, first aid kits to people in emergency situations, such as in earthquakes or someone trapped in a building. We have robots that do that, but they can cost millions. So I think this is a nice solution to, transport emergency
supplies. Sorry, James, we don't really like you all that much, so we're going to send Steve's homebrew robot to see if it can save you. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, it's still, this could be really great for, paramedic departments and fire departments where budget is a concern. And I like this idea. I think this is going to be in the future of that industry, definitely. So, and I also, just something really fun is I love the name, the name of the 3D printed creature.
Creature?
Or vehicle.
Are you going to name it?
Sorry, I couldn't think. The name is called New One. And I thought it was funny. It was a new one because if you create a second one, it will be the new one. And the first one will be the old one. I just was thinking of something funny.
I mean, $600 might be a bit much, but that's if you're just buying everything wholesale. You could probably, work with the base design and come up with something, more lethal. I mean, if you put a little time and R&D in it. So, yeah, right on.
Get one of those high-powered blue lasers, and it can run off of the same battery because it probably has enough voltage to drive the wheels with enough torque to get it up anything. And then shoot the laser.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I'm going to need more towing capacity for the batteries because, railgun. But.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's going to need also some manner of hankering to the ground. Otherwise, it's just going to fly the other way.
Oh, no, baby. I'm going to launch it the first time and stock builds disintegrate. Kinetic weaponry, kids. That's what you came here for. We're running long. We got to get out of here. If you want to get hold to us, head over to linuxemcast.com. We got a contact button. We got a show, LWDW. Anything else that we get on, leave a comment on YouTube. We have an Odyssey channel. Of course, we're here on Twitch doing it live after the fact, listening to the podcast. But I got to cut on some music and roll some credits. In that order, probably.
Woohoo!
No guarantees.
Now the credits show up, no music whatsoever.
I can make your dreams come true.
Aw, thank you, Jordan. He said artifact creature still counts. Cool.
That's a Magic the Gathering reference. I get that.
Yeah. Steve Husband says, great fun. What did we learn, kids? Aw.
That's a good question. Jill, what did you learn this evening? Yep,
Ven
that sounds about right. Thank you.
Ven got lots of messages on Reddit.
Yes, Ven's popular.
His,
Ven was featured.
yeah. And it was even highlighted in red by Linus. Burn your social media accounts. Great. Cinema Netro.
You have the LTT fan base scrutiny now.
Baby.
Wow.
Here's the immediate retort to that. You're talking, again, a 14-year-old Reddit account. I've been dealing with Reddit for 14 years. Come at me, cupcakes.
I deleted my previous account and then I created one that I never signed into.
Yeah, I have a couple different ones. I have one that my more recent account I am using more because I'm on Reddit with social networking.
There you go. That's my Reddit account right there.
But yeah, now Ven, everyone knows your Reddit account. So are you going to use a different one or keep that one? Or keep that one and just start using another one.
I've been using that publicly for 14 years. I don't see what's going to change. What are people going to do? Like type bad words at me?
Yeah.
I'm from a different generation. That doesn't work on us.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I'm from an even older one where it really doesn't work.
Jill, you're 8 years older than me. Come on.
That's
technically the same generation still.
All right. Let's see.
Mainstream Reddit was fun. Was mainstream Reddit ever fun? It's a time sink. That's what you go on Reddit for. You read things, you go down the rabbit hole every now and then, and that's about it.
We used to go to Reddit because Dig was too mainstream, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, I was 100% going through my, if there's anything in there good and juicy, I missed it because I was just scrolling through doom scroll trying to get back to 14 years ago. That takes a minute. Yeah, I laughed at one of my comments because I was talking to some kid. Like, Reddit. I'm like, man, it was simpler times back in my day. It was all Norwells and bacon, and just lost on them. They didn't understand. I don't know. I mean, Reddit's fine. Reddit's what you make it. Social media is what you make it. And doing things like this, you're used to being, public to some extent.
Oh, yeah.
And I have 12 new notifications on Twitter. Lovely.
Scrutiny.
No. Now it's devolved into people are arguing on that picture. It's whatever. I don't know. Pedro, you still argue on the internet on occasion. What's the
on occasion?
I don't know. Listen, man, I'm trying to help you out, bro. What's the takeaway of that? Because there was a point in my life, like, what am I doing? What?
I probably the wrong person to ask because I like a part of what Reddit offers, but it gets to a point, especially on Reddit, where you don't want to argue anymore because you realize that the person is either trying to be funny and it's not working, or they genuinely believe what they think. And it's like, no. I want a genuine argument. I want, inflamed egos, and I want cuss words and name calling. I want conflict.
Now,
I want to watch the world burn.
In all seriousness, why do you engage in that and like it so much, yet delete accounts? That's what I don't understand.
I deleted the other account because I was getting a lot of weird PMs. I'm not entirely sure why.
Oh, welcome to my world, Ben.
Really creepy, really just okay, no, we're done.
Come on, live a little, Pedro. You gotta have public comments hey, how are you doing? You're talking to
I deliberately stayed away from, the porny subreddits because I didn't want that. And they still found me. So, then I made that account basically to squat on the username.
What was the username? I don't pay attention.
That accounted for.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was
It's
talking,
been there.
I was talking to, last night I was plugging Jordan's Twitch channel. I'm like, no, it's just burning. No, it's the.
The burning full.
You take what's available. Man, even in 2020, I can roll up into places that have been around for decades. I'm like, VENN. Yep, that's mine.
You'd think with the diagrams that wouldn't be the case. I don't know.
It was smooth, no one cared sailing right until that first Fast and Furious movie, man. Yep.
I couldn't have Vin, so Ven.
I don't know. Also, I'm very easy to find on social media because I'm not very original. So. What's your favorite Thanksgiving Day dish?
Thanksgiving date, as in
Day
romantic
dish.
or
His
date dish? Okay,
favorite
not
dish.
Day.
Sweet potatoes and marshmallows.
I was never in the U.S. For Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
so-
playing a game, man.
I think I've always liked when I've had stuffed turkey. The stuffing was really nice. The turkey tends to be very, very dry because the stuffing soaks up all the moisture. So I like the stuffing of the turkey.
Because I saw that System 76 asked, what's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Deviled eggs? Okay. Homemade stuffing.
That's a bit sad.
Pedro, all right. You got it.
Stuffing, right on. Green bean casserole, burn him. Burn the heretic. Burn him.
Okay, I feel like there better be a backstory to your seething rage against green bean casserole. Now, what did it do to you?
It's green beans.
Dates,
They're
yum.
Um,
atrocious.
What do you have against green beans, man? I'm neutral on
I'm
green
slightly
beans.
allergic to the things. They're like peas. With me, they're like peas. They give me a rash if I have them. So,
See,
yeah.
the problem with dates is they come in boxes and I'll just eat the entire thing. And it's, you ever get like cardboard in your teeth? I mean, it's nasty.
Some vegetables I tolerate. In fact, Nori every now and then she makes
Oh, okay. Glad
very
you-
nice vegetable soup, which I love, and I would drink the whole thing if I wasn't if I didn't feel a little bit ashamed. That's like she cooked it and she doesn't get to have any. Apparently, I'm the only one in this relationship that has that.
She was just trying to get some vitamins in you, man. I mean,
But yeah, no, that soup is genuinely good. I very, very, very much like the vegetable soup that Nori does.
all right. What's it take to get you to eat vegetables, Jill?
Oh, I love veggies. I have
Not much,
vegetable
then.
skewers, vegetable salads.
Vegetable salads?
Well, vegetables and salads.
Hot ketchup water.
Tomato soup.
No, I eat lots of Mediterranean and Persian food, which is a lot of veggies. So this is something I'm used to, and the things I didn't like as a kid, like a lot of us, I like now as an adult. So I like almost every vegetable, actually.
And you see, you
I
gotta be
think I'm
careful.
still a kid then because I still hate everything that I used to hate when I was a kid.
Gotta be
Oh,
careful.
okay.
Because when you're dealing with Frojo, you're dealing with Canadian ketchup technology, and it's quite
Yeah.
advanced. This is where you end up with things like ketchup cake.
That makes sense. You don't
It would
even
make
need
it
to add
sweet.
sugar.
Yeah. I think I've actually had ketchup cake before.
Nah.
Yeah, Heinz versus Hunt's.
My sugar vegetable is better than yours.
Well, tomatoes are
Effectively,
fruit.
yes.
Beets? You know what I
like
almost
Yeah,
bought?
sugar vegetable. Yes, that's probably the highest concentration sugar vegetable. Yep.
What about sugarcane?
The amount of fiber that gets thrown out just to get enough sugar,
I don't know.
I don't know if that's very space effective.
I thought we were going by density per your.
Yes. Density also includes volume, and sugar cane is big. And you get
Yeah.
a teeny tiny little bit of sugar.
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I'm asking before I Google it and find out.
It's mostly fiber. It's a cane. It's think bamboo, but
That's
with
probably
more sugar.
why they don't call them like sugar anvils, Pedro.
Yes.
One thing I did see when I was at the grocery last week, I almost bought, was something I do like, which is, I guess, like sweets. They had the big giant jars of just like cranberries, like the
Yep.
pureed cran. I'm like, man, I just sit and eat that entire thing. Sugar cane density.
Sugar
It's mostly
cocaine.
air. It's also hollow. Yeah, it's hollow.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just fiber and air with a little bit of sugar.
See, the density of sugarcane is 285 units of density, Pedro.
So 272 kilograms per centimeter cubed, right?
I don't know, because now I'm going to type
Density unit. What is?
density of, what was it, beats? Listen, man, I personally don't think headphones are going to have a lot of sugar on them, but whatever. We'll try it.
It's with two E's.
Oh, come on. Now we just have different measurements?
Oh, wow. 1 gram per
Oh.
centimeter cubed. That's significant.
Mm.
17% of the original beet will be
weight,
turned into sugar.
which will take about 6 pounds
Wow.
of beets.
6 pounds, 6 pounds to make 1
Okay,
pound of sugar.
maybe we can work this back, kids. We can math this out. Okay. 6 pound, how many pounds of sugar
6 to
cane
1.
to make 1 pound of sugar?
Yes, how much sugar cane you need?
And we'll convert that to a normal weight in a minute.
I think Ven won that one. Or he's really mad.
No. It's like, here's some new measurements.
And now it's cups.
This game sucks, Google. I want a refund.
1 pound sugar. Weight canes.
Yeah, right? I might have to Wolfram. See, that's
Yeah.
that's putting a ring on. That's taking the relationship a little too far for a joke.
There. To make 1 pound of
This
sugar.
is just going to be a Nicolas Cage on the graph, isn't it?
Hmm.
31 grams sugar and 1 pound of beets. 31 grams. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar in 1 pound of sugar.
Sugar cane?
Is it sugar cane 2 words? Maybe 1 word, maybe?
I think it's 2. Say sugar cane.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
are we going to be using Persian canes, Pedro? I need to make sure we...
I don't know. Is this the African or European swallow debacle?
Science just not ready to answer this question? Is this where we're at? Did I just break Wolfram? Just crash.
That's one word.
2 cups?
It can be 2, I guess. I'm used to seeing it as 1 word, but
18 fluid ounces. Average result, 18 fluid ounces. 31 grams. So 1.1 ounces.
1.1 ounces. So it's less. So the beets have less.
Significantly.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah. You get
Yeah.
1.1 ounce and you get 32 inches cubic. 18 ounces.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Sugar canes have more sugar.
I would think so.
Yeah, no, I did not think so, but okay. All right.
Yay, everyone can agree with me now that they know I'm right.
Well, just from the taste, you take a bite of sugar cane, you take a bite of
Take a bite of sugar cane, Joe. You're going to lose a tooth.
Oh, I've done it before. There's soft sugar
them.
cane. There's different, and there's different varieties.
The ones people usually grow in Portugal, you have to boil them, otherwise they're
the firm kind.
It's harder than bamboo.
It is called cane.
Yeah.
They don't call them sugar noodles.
I've actually... we used to eat them in Mexico. There was a variety that was a lot not as firm that you could bite into.
Beets are easier to grow than... I mean, they don't require as much processing as sugar cane.
You can literally just grind them and you have cane sugar.
Yeah, I remember that, Steve Husband. Yeah. They used to hand it out as a treat at Alvera Street. In Mexico, it was something that parents gave their kids. You could buy it in the stores.
Steve, all I'm reading right now is people used to be chased around L.A. with canes.
Really moist, really sweet canes. And just smacking people around the head with them.
I don't know. That just sounds ominous, man. Like, oh, if you went by this street, you would get sugar cane. No. I'm not thinking about actual plants at that point. Like, what's that euphemism for?
Yeah, there's the sticks. Mir, I remember eating those.
When I was a kid, I used to, and then I grew up and I kept doing it. Cinnamon sticks. Dried up cinnamon leaves because they're delicious.
Like the cinnamon sticks, like the curly hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, more power to you if you want to know on that. I mean,
that's my jam. That's my candy. That is my candy. It's like I like.
I run into a stride. Bark? Yes. Spitting the true.
Are they? And again, I don't think I've ever had sugar cane that wasn't, boiled. So...
I'm just imagining.
Or maybe it's that really soft sugar cane that Mira is using for comparison. Okay, probably.
You have to go, buy a lot of, regular, ordinary, perfectly good, ready-to-serve sugar before I got to, beets or something else.
I mean, when you get down to that point, it's just teeny tiny little sugar crystals. So
do you think they
massively
use,
refined?
What is it? Any type of sodas that use beets as the sugar source?
There is. I have had one that does. I don't remember what brand it was, but it was one of the boutique brands.
Okay, then you guys have
there's a
far
substitute.
denser sugar canes than the ones I used to see, but okay. I already admitted defeat on that one.
Well, there are different varieties, too. So you probably were used to the ones that were more firm.
Well, the beets were a band. I think. Yeah. They sung Killer Tofu.
How fitting.
So we got anything else going on this evening? Joe, what are you getting into? You guys are done with Disney World for a while, right?
Yeah, till the beginning of January. Taking a break in December because I have too much stuff going on.
Get Pedro a sippy cup for his veggie soup.
I love
I do. I usually drink soup out of the mug because I can be here and just have the mug and go. Oh, now it's empty. Now I have to go refill it and come back with more soup.
It just seems like, yeah, consuming food out of mugs would end up in a negative, bad confusion somehow for me. It's like, no, let's just not introduce.
This mug is basically my
portable bowl.
Yeah. I put everything that usually goes into my mouth that is in any way, shape, or form drinkable goes in there.
What about ice cream?
Yeah. And mug cakes.
Mug cake? Oh, that's when you just microwave brownies or something.
It was when you microwave Nutella.
Oh.
And you watch it rise. And when it rises, you open the microwave door so it stops and it doesn't overflow.
Okay, this isn't just Pedro's fever dreams. That's a real thing. All right. That looks horrifying.
Yeah. It's mug contained Nutella brownie.
That is microwave sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why Nutella doesn't show up around here anymore, because both me and Nori will grab the spoon and go, All
right, everyone. It's almost 5. I'm going to turn everything into a show. And, Jordan, what time are you doing your thing tomorrow? I might do something before then, because I will have nothing to do tomorrow at free time. And me with free time is always a recipe for, like, having to fix things later. 7:30? All right. So, yeah, I might pop up tomorrow with something during the day. Do something entertaining, something fun. Or not. I very well might just be playing Just Cause 3.
Yeah.
Who knows? All right. That's fun. Hey, 7:30 tomorrow, guaranteed. Jordan will return with, I don't know what he's going to be playing. He might be playing Pokemons. He bought a new Pokemon game. He couldn't help himself. It's an addiction that needs to be fed. And,
Pokemons is a lifestyle.
Right? Oh, right. He's playing the rest of the Baldur's Gate 3. So he's going to be doing that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Friday, I am going to be going for gold in Trackmania. So I might open that up to other people after I get warmed up. We might have that'll be Trackmania 2 Stadium. After I get warmed up. Might take a while. You know, sometimes warm up is like, I finished that track finally. And
I got a medal. I don't care that it's bronze. I got a medal.
Man.
That's some of the Black Flag tracks on Trackmania 2 are, oh boy.
Yeah, usually I start tapping out on the, what's the one before? Red?
Red.
Yeah, where that's when the puzzle platforming begins. But it might be fun to like load up a Trackmania 2 RPG track. They take like 20 minutes to get through.
Oh, it's one of them.
There's a couple of them with like 70 levels where it's very easy to fold onto the beginning.
I don't want to play Pitfall Mania.
So, I'll post a note in Discord. Like, if you don't have Trackmania 2, it's arcade Hot Wheels. It's not, it's not racing by any stretch of the imagination. So you start playing with Pedro and he gets real quiet.
That's usually the first couple of laps that I'm figuring out the track that I don't care.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all.